a.m. It is Wednesday, February 17th, 2021, and it's about 4:55. Good evening to you. I'm your host and meteorologist of 25 years. It's been a little while now since I started my study and pursuit and for my passion in weather, and I'm very happy to be able to share that with you guys here. And we try to get on as frequently as we can whenever we have significant weather, and right now it's pretty widespread. I'm going to be talking to you guys about what's happening across the south here coming up in just a couple of moments with widespread snow and ice. We've been watching this storm for about a week and a half now. We knew that this week was going to bring us a 1-2 punch, and while the first round hampered many in the south, it's really hit so hard parts of the deep south, including Texas, San Antonio, so hit hard with the ice. They are now recovering from round two. That next round making its way into portions of the lower middle Mississippi River Valley. It is approaching parts of the lower Ohio River Valley, then moves into Appalachia and also into the mid-Atlantic here as we go throughout the next 24 to 48 hours. All right, let's go ahead and get you started with the radar update, and then we'll check in to see who's on our YouTube feed here. Thank you very much for those that have joined us. And there's the radar. Give me a second there. Got both warnings on and also radar information. I'll be covering both in detail during this broadcast. We'll also take a look at the latest snowfall projections, ice projections, and that sort of thing. If you're on here, if you don't mind a quick thumbs up, it's always appreciated. We do have those active winter storm warnings still across the south where the precipitation's pretty much over, but they still got a mess on their hands. It does include San Antonio, points to the west towards the Rio Grande Valley, also much of eastern Texas, the piney woods of Texas underneath that winter storm warning. Does extend through northern Louisiana, Arkansas, northern half of Mississippi. Round two, you guys were hit pretty hard just 2-3 days ago. So these areas that still haven't fully recovered, and these are areas that don't typically see a lot of wintry weather. In some cases, you got to go back several years since they've had a significant amount of either ice or snow. We've had a series of mild winters for this part of the country, and you know what? It's difficult when you're not in the routine and when you don't have the capacity to take care of the roads and the power lines. Still a lot of people without power across the Lone Star State. Now that warning was extended into much of Tennessee. Memphis has got snow moving in right now. I'll have those snowfall reports for you coming up in just a couple of minutes. And winter storm warnings also extended through southern portions of Kentucky to the north. If you're following me from Kentuckiana, that's a winter weather advisory. Not a lot of snow. I know we were expecting more with the last one. Well, this one we'll start off with. We're not expecting a lot, but again, it could be enough. Will likely be enough to hamper some travel. This will be all snow for northern Kentucky. In fact, all snow, I think, for most of the state. You get on into West Virginia, northern sections of North Carolina. That's a winter storm warning for you. This does include Washington, D.C., Maryland, and then heading off into southeastern portions of Pennsylvania and portions of New Jersey. That's a winter storm warning. Downstream, that does include New York City, Hartford, Boston, into southern New England. That's a winter storm watch. Okay, so there's a lot of things on here. Let's see who we have on the program as we get started. Thank you for stopping by. Kevin Batcher on, Cheryl Evans, Mike Conklin, Brett Davis, and then Jim Perry in the house. I've got heat wave in southwest Missouri, 15 below yesterday morning. Good grief. And now it's 18 above today. Yeah, wow, that's some pretty cold stuff. And it's been incredibly cold for, of course, much of the central United States, just so far below normal when it comes to the temperature category. It's really pretty incredible stuff that we've been seeing. So let's go ahead and dive on in, and I want to take a look at specifically the precipitation as it's been occurring. And this is where we've got, some snow beginning to develop. Southwest Kentucky, flakes are just now beginning to flurry up and fall. This will make its way into Kentuckiana late tonight, tomorrow. You'll deal with some snow. Nashville could see a few inches. We'll talk about how much. Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis, also looking at that snow moving in with the ice to the south across portions of southern Arkansas. That sleet and freezing rain along that Interstate 20 corridor between Shreveport and Jackson, Mississippi. Again, I lived in Jackson for a little while. We didn't get a lot of winter weather down there. I think I saw a flurry one time. It just doesn't happen, but it's happening now, and it's happening for the second time in just a few days. So with that being said, let's take a look at our other radar. We're going to get you caught up on some of these reports that have been coming in. And if you don't mind, keep the likes and shares going of this program. As always, we appreciate you. And here's the other radar source. And looking at, basically, these are level 2. This is a level 2 source showing you the light snow. Generally speaking, this is all snow here into the Memphis area, where it's falling pretty heavily across portions of northern Mississippi. Now, what I wanted to point out were some of these reports that are coming in from the west. These are pretty significant snowfall reports. And in fact, as you make your way west, and let's look at some of these numbers here coming out of Pulaski near Little Rock, Arkansas. 7 inches of snow. 7 inches of snow as well. What's the location here? This is Jefferson, Arkansas, Jefferson County, 10 miles southwest of Pine Bluff. And then there's a report of 10 inches. That's more than most of the models were projected, I can tell you that much. But 10 inches coming in from Poyen. That's Grant County, Arkansas. So 10 inches of snow there. And then here, what is the location on this? This is Camden. We've got about 8 inches of snow coming out of that location. I mean, these are areas that don't see a lot of snow. So that's really something. Moving to the south, a lot of freezing rain reports. It looks like up to about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of ice across portions of northern Louisiana, and now out of Jackson, Mississippi, we were just talking about. It looks like about 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulated there. So that's the kind of the macro of what has been occurring. And let's take a look at the bigger picture, because the warning area, not quite as large as what we experienced a couple of days ago, but that's still a pretty sizable warning, extending from South Texas all the way into the mid-Atlantic. So pretty sizable area there, under the gun for some wintry weather. Deborah McCown on there, thank you for being on. I just shared this over with our friends on Twitter and also on Facebook. I'm not going live on Facebook for this post. Likely we'll have a news/weather update this evening. If you want to come back to our regular Facebook show, which typically airs at about 8:45. I say it typically airs at 8:45 because it's been more like 9 o'clock or occasionally 9:15 in the last few weeks. We've had some scheduling issues, but we try to hit as close to 8:45 once we get back to a normal schedule. Hopefully tonight we'll have that as well. Some of the ice projections here showing up, and you can see where parts of northern Louisiana, according to the 3K NAM, the 18Z run that just came in, showing a lot of ice. I don't think we're going to see that much. If we were to, I think that would be a problem. Anytime you get more than about 1/4 of an inch of ice, it oftentimes results in some pretty major headaches, like we saw in San Antonio earlier in the week. So we're really hoping that doesn't happen. But here's the progression of the snow for tonight and into tomorrow. Now you can see that part of Tennessee, and this time it's going to be southern Kentucky and southeastern Kentucky that sees the heaviest snowfall. And it won't be heavy. And in fact, with temperatures near freezing, I don't think you're really going to accumulate very quickly. But for that part of the country, it'll add up. It'll cause some headaches on the roadways. All right, moving on up into the mid-Atlantic and Appalachia. Snow moving in starting tomorrow morning. And then you can see as it rolls towards the coast, that low is going to spin along New England, and it is going to toss back some snow. Meanwhile, upper energy moves across western New York. If you're following me from Rochester, or western New York, know that you are going to see some light snow, but it's not even worth advising at this point. A lot of cold air, though, coming over the lakes, and that will result, of course, in lake effect snow following the system as we head towards Friday. But some general light snows for most of western and even into upstate New York. This will occur by late Thursday night, and Friday that will continue as well. All right, coming up next in the program, we'll have we'll give you an update on how much we're expecting as far as snowfall totals are concerned. I wanted to get caught up on how many people are on here, who's on here, and then we'll try to wrap this up here in about 10 minutes, so about a 20-minute program or so. With that being said, keep the likes and shares going. Thank you very much for being on. And you can see, while it's cold in Rochester right now, it's 25, it's much, much colder across parts of the Deep South. And this is a part of the story I wanted to at least mention to you. And so I'm going to bring on air temperatures as, again, it plays a significant role in what we are seeing out there. Temperatures have been very, very slowly moderating here since that major Arctic blast struck the heart of the United States. This goes back to about a week and a half ago across the northern tier, where we've been watching these incredibly cold temperatures. The gentleman on here were reporting out of, was it Missouri or Arkansas, where you were reporting that temperature? That's heat wave. That's coming in from Brett Davis, 15 below in southwest Missouri. I'm sure that was a record. I'm just about 100% sure that would be a record. These are current air temperatures, so it's seasonably cold across the Northeast, but there's still a lot of cold coming down the pipe. Look at these temperatures across the upper Midwest right now, where you've got teens and single digits. These are no doubt going to fall well below zero overnight tonight. I shared an image earlier. Not sure how easy I can get that to you, but U.S. snowfall. Yeah, I can bring it up. Here it is. Give me a second. Snow. I want to show you snowpack, and I think this is interesting. U.S. snowpack, and that typically, if you just do a browser search on that, that'll take you to the National Snow Analysis, where they do a great job of tracking U.S. snowfall. And this is interesting. Let's see if I can bring this up in. Here it is. This is interesting because so much of the U.S. is covered in snow right now. Take a look at this. So snowfall across the United States right now, somewhere on the order of about 70%. I don't know why I can't blow that up any higher, but just, use your readers if you need them. But this is the United States here. While the only areas that really haven't seen the snow, far south, eastern U.S., far southwestern U.S., and the irony, so this is about 70% snow cover for the United States right now. The irony is the fact that the areas that have been the coldest over the recent weeks, and we're talking about the northern plains, eastern Montana, where they've had low temperatures that have fallen to 30 and even 40 degrees below zero. And they're just now beginning to see those air temperatures during the day rising above zero. The amazing thing is that they don't have much snow on the ground. And then you've got areas like San Antonio, areas like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that's got snow on the ground. It's pretty incredible. So anyway, interesting stuff. I thought I'd share that with you. All right, Mike on here. How much will we be getting in Clifton Springs, Ontario County? Mike, let's take a look at some of those snowfall totals together here. Here's a look at kind of the big picture, and then we'll fine-tune for New York State what to expect this go around again. And you know how it goes. So much of this is going to be dependent on what we end up seeing off of Lake Ontario. Lake Ontario, again, still largely open for business as well. So I'm bringing that up here as we speak. Again, the goal here is to run this about another 5 minutes, and so we're going to get into those snowfall totals in this portion of the show right now. So I'm going to start you with the bigger picture again, and we mentioned the ice. There's the snow for the Ohio Valley, and we're going to, Okay, so here, and then here is the snow for Pennsylvania. Not sure why that's not animating. There it is. Okay, with the ice to the south, and you're going to see both snow, sleet, freezing rain, the whole gamut for Washington, D.C. Okay, and so here's a broad picture of totals. These are according to the 3K NAM, which this is not a big storm, if I can be honest with you. And I always try to be, by the way. But you can see central PA, and I think these numbers are low. I think they'll go higher than this. And southern portions of New York State. And maybe, parts of the big cities. They've got the watch up there, but I really think that New York City proper safe, but you go into Northtown and those numbers are gonna fluff up. That's a look at the 3K NAM. This is the GFS, and it's a little bit more robust with those snowfall numbers. If you're coming at us from southern Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, southern Indiana, I think you're probably looking at 1 to 2 inches. Kentucky, depending on your location, 1 to 3. Southern Kentucky, you might get an isolated 4. But you have this area where you don't typically see a lot of snow. There you go. This is northeastern Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, southern portions of Tennessee, where we've got model data supporting 5-6 inches. That's a lot of snow for them. It really is. And then again, the GFS with the higher snowfall totals across the Northeast. This is through Saturday morning. So I'm going to bring up the current, and I'll let my computer catch up with me for a moment. And we're going to move you right on into the Northeast in a moment. I'm going to start with our friends to the south. So let's go with Kentucky, Tennessee. Where are you at? I've got Middle Tennessee. Here's Kentucky and Tennessee. Okay, and then this is the source that you're looking at. There it is up. Good. All right, this is the European model, which came in this afternoon. Again, it's showing just underwhelming amount of snow for most of this area. And so this comes in tonight, tomorrow, and again, 1 to 2 inches generally. Indiana, maybe into Kentucky if this is right. A little bit heavier totals to the south, but I wanted to go back over, see what the NAM is showing us here. Yeah, it is showing some of those heavier totals to the south. You can see southern Tennessee. Look at that. That's good snow for them. And keep in mind, Memphis just had 5-6 inches. Now they could have another what? Model showing another 4 or 5 inches. That would be a pretty incredible week for Memphis, Tennessee. I mean, really, when's the last time that happened? Okay, Mike, we're going to jump on into New York State next. Okay, I know you're itching. Give me a moment. So there you go. Generally light amounts. Snowfall here in this territory. It's going to be limited. It looks like more, less freezing rain on this side of the Appalachians. It could very easily get heavier once you get to the other side of the Appalachians. So there you go. There's North Carolina showing a mess of freezing rain. As of right now, they have winter storm warnings in effect, though. Not an ice storm warning. And I'm not sure why. Maybe the Weather Service is not expecting as much. Ice is what is being shown here on this model. So let's go on over to the other model real quick. European, then we're going to work our way north. And the Euro also showing significant ice. So that is a real ice threat, it appears, for North Carolina and Virginia. I have not had a chance to look at a forecast sounding with this one, which is something that is important. It's so critically important to look at those forecast soundings, because not only do you have to know what the temperatures are like at the surface temperatures are not nearly as important as it is what the air temperature is like at about 3, 4, 5,000 feet above you, and sometimes higher. And so you really have to get those temperatures, a few thousand feet above you. You've got to get that right, or else you don't have a chance of getting the snowfall projections right. Okay, so we're on the European. Let's come back over to the 3K NAM. Okay, now we can go with European. All right, so go back, European. Let's go. And let's bring in the snow for New York. Again, light stuff, I think, for western New York. When does it start? According to the Euro, you get it starting afternoon tomorrow. Mike Conklin, I'm talking to you. Afternoon tomorrow. But again, really light stuff, and you can see the heavier stuff downstate. And then we're going to get some moisture off of the lakes as we head on into your Saturday. So that's the European. Let's take one more look at the 3K NAM, and then we'll look at amounts. And so the 3K NAM really doesn't bring in lots. So flurries even through the first part of the afternoon tomorrow, and then the upper energy begins to build in. Notice you've got freezing rain now, or sleet. That would be sleet for downstate New York City. So this would be during the so for Wayne County. I mean, you could have flakes beginning in the morning, but your general light snow begins by later in the afternoon. And then you'll have light snow all night tomorrow night. Light, I mean, it's going to be light. This is not a big snow. How much? Well, let's just take a look. And we'll take a look at precipitation totals here. And I want total. There we go. So precipitation totals, it's actually more than I thought it was going to show me. So if that can be believed, then through the end of the day tomorrow, there's some of that lake effect coming in. I'm going to skip the lake effect. So through late tomorrow, it's showing about 2/10 of an inch. You get into the Finger Lakes about 3/10 of an inch. That should be about a 2 to 4 inch snow. Let's see what it says. That's my guess. There we go. Yeah, 2 to 3, maybe locally 4 inches of snow with the system. So that does not include lake effect stuff that you're going to get as we head on into tomorrow night. Make that Friday night, excuse me. All right, thank you very much for all you guys for stopping by. And as always, we invite you to like, share the program, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we appreciate having you. Always looking for feedback too, ways that we can serve your weather needs better. But hopefully this is helpful. Just to recap, we've got warnings that are pretty widespread. In areas that don't typically see a lot of warnings, we're seeing that. Snow beginning to make its way across portions of the south. Here are the warnings from southern portions of Texas, San Antonio. That's in the pink, that's a warning, all the way into portions of the mid-Atlantic. There is an ice threat. It looks like it's there for areas near and north of Charlotte, near and south of Roanoke, Virginia. So we'll be watching that carefully. And then I was going to finish off with a look at your radar. Here you go. And again, I was looking at some of those reports. Man, pretty decent snows in Arkansas. Southern Arkansas, central Arkansas, 5 to locally 10 inches of snow from that one report. That's some pretty good stuff. All right, so here's a look. Are we on it? Let's go back to National Radar. Go, computer, go. Computer's running slow. I apologize. No, it's not. I'm running slow. I'm on the wrong source. Give me a second. We'll get this figured out. Cheryl says, light snow, easy to shovel. Yeah, it won't be bad. You just dust it off. You know, down where we're at now, well, we're in southern Indiana. They don't always get good snows here. So people tend to freak out over a few inches. But, you know, for our friends in New York, this is really nothing. This is not going to be a major storm at all. So just a final look over at radar, and you can see temperatures are cold. It's pretty neat to see so much frozen precipitation so far south for this time of the year. You got the snow moving into Memphis. They just had 5-6 inches earlier in the over the weekend, earlier in the week, I should say, just 2-3 days ago, and now they could pick up another 3, 4, 5 inches of snow. That doesn't happen very often. You can see that freezing rain threat. There is a risk of some moderate freezing rain for areas like Monroe, Louisiana, to about Greenville, Mississippi. So we'll continue to monitor all this as it gently glides to the north and east. And that air mass is very, very slowly modifying. So that'll be good for a lot of people. Anyway, thanks for being on. As mentioned, you can catch our live news and weather program. That's Weather Live at 8:45. We stream that typically from Facebook, unless we have major weather, and then we'll multi-stream. Tonight, we might multi-stream, but if you are on Facebook, find me over there as well. That's Jeremy Capel. Capel, by the way, with a K. Thank you for being here, and you guys stay warm, stay safe, and we will talk soon. Bye, guys.
Thank you.